Afternoon, my friends. It is Tuesday, the 11th of July, and my name is Melanie Miller, and I am here this afternoon to do a little bit of cooking for you. It's actually nothing mind blowing because I actually made this recipe last week, I think, or maybe the week before, but it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to. I just made sliced potatoes in a sort of oil sauce and baked them in the oven. But where I made a mistake is that I cut the potatoes too thin. So what happened is that they didn't actually bake to be golden and brown. They were just like too thin. I mean, they were actually quite delicious, but they didn't look that good. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try and make them again. So, hi, Wendy. Hi, Cindy. So, I've been at Tupperware now for 16 years. In fact, July 2007 is when I joined Tupperware. So, this is actually my 16th anniversary month. And I'm not going to tell you that I've enjoyed every single moment of it, but I've enjoyed most moments. And the moments I've enjoyed the most are where I have realized that I can cook. And it was not something that I thought that I would ever be able to do because I wasn't interested in it. I didn't like it. And it's only now that I'm cooking and I'm trying new things. One, I'm not afraid to admit when things go wrong. Two, I know that cooking has a lot to do with the tools as well as the cook. And three, it's a learning experience. So every day we try new things, or even if we're not trying new things each day, we may be looking and saying, oh, could I do that a little bit better? So tonight I want to try and make my oven baked potatoes again. And I really want the opportunity to once again use my mandolin because our mandolin is on special this month. And I really want everybody to see how good it is. Now, the actual mandolin is not on special, it's still $105. But what you do is you get a lovely, clearly elegant 2.4 liter bowl plus some serving forks with it for free. And those by themselves are worth $57. So you get $162 for your $105 of payment. So I'm going to make my slices of potato. And today I'm going to do sweet potato and potato to make it a bit different. And I'm going to put my oil and various spices in here. We're going to put the potatoes in, shake it all up, and that's how they'll get coated. So we'll do that in a little while because for now I need to get started actually using my mandolin. So the mandolin at Tupperware has several safety features. The first and the most important safety feature is that whenever you use it, you must always, always, always use the guard. If you don't use the guard, you're asking for trouble. Second safety feature is, as you can see at the moment, the top of the mandolin is higher than the blade. This means I don't have an opportunity to slice my fingers by accident. And in fact, the blade is readily removed, and I have a case, and it all fits in underneath your mandolin. So you don't even have to have the blade out. However, I tend to be always have my blade out, so it's ready to go. But the way you control whether the blade is available or not is with these buttons here. And what these do, if I show it to you head on, you can see that as I increase the size of the slice, so now instead of the base being higher, the blade is higher. So I'm actually going to, now I'm going to put my slicer onto a 6. Last week, I cut the potatoes at 3. Usually, when I'm making a potato bake in the oven, I cut them at 4. Now, cutting them at 3 would have been great if I wanted to make potato chips, but I didn't want to make potato chips. I ended up with some. I wanted to make sliced veggies that were coated, like had a really nice flavor. But I ended up with vegetables that were too thin. So I'm just thinking I might even take it to a 7. So I have a really decent size of slice. So I'm actually going to use potatoes and I'm going to use some sweet potato. Now the sweet potato is always much harder to slice. So we're going to start off with potato and we're going to see how easy this is to slice with this big gap here. So let me see. Okay, so it's pretty easy, as you can see. And I might just be able to get one more slice. Okay, so now I have some decent thickness. Now, when I checked back with the recipe, and I haven't peeled them because it doesn't matter when they're cooked. They're sort of like baked potatoes. But when I look back at the recipe, it said to cut them about 1/8 of an inch thick. Now, an inch is actually 2.5 centimeters. So I know that that is not as thick as a 1/2 centimeter. So I've probably got about 1/8 of an inch now. So that some of them are a little bit thinner, but this is going to be much better, I think, than when I had them that much thinner. So some of them are thinner, but right. So I'm going to take my last one and I'm just going to cut that and slice it. You might say, well, why would you bother with the mandolin? Because you could just cut them at this thickness. It wouldn't be so difficult. It's true, but it would just take so much longer. Using the mandolin means that it cuts, I get them cut so much faster. So there we go. So I've got another one done. So I'll put those in my season serve. And this is where most people make mistakes. They try and push through the vegetables. You always need to pull them back so that there's no danger to you and your poor fingers. So let's do the last potato. And then we're going to try the sweet potato. And I've got a feeling that it's going to be quite difficult because sweet potato is much harder than potato. And I'm now going to try and cut it thicker slices. Okay, so I noticed that a couple of the potatoes, after I've cut them, so after you've cut them, just check out your potatoes. And if they have a bad bit, then just cut it out. So most of these look pretty good, actually. All right, so that's the potato. Now, I have this quite big sweet potato, and I know that if I try and use this end, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I'm going to cut it, and you can see how hard sweet potato is. I'm going to cut it. Oh, the dogs think cutting something means stuff for them. Not today, boys. And so now I've got my sweet potato attached to my safety thing. But I think I'm going to have to shove it through. Okay. So you see, I've actually got, whoops, pulled out the plate. I've actually got quite a grip on here on my hang on, let me see if I can get the blade back in. I can't get the blade back in with the potato on it. Okay, let me just pull that out. We'll put this back in. There we go. But I've got some quite nice slices there. It's just whether I can keep it going. Yeah, so I'm gonna just have to be patient. And I'm going to turn this round now and see whether maybe I can get some more. Now, although this looks like it's pretty rough, actually cutting the sweet potatoes would have been much more difficult, just because sweet potato is quite tough. Okay, so I think that actually went better than I expected. I'm going to try and cut the last bit at the end here. Okay, so I've got some nice, decent size. A couple of them are a bit thin, but most of them have actually come out really well. So you can see now that my seasoned serve container is very full. So I am actually going to put out the jam jar today, guys, because it is time to start filling it up again. So to get your name in the jam jar, all you have to do is tell me, do you prefer potatoes or sweet potatoes? Potatoes or sweet potatoes? Okay, now let's check out what we can do in terms of coating these potatoes, because they need to be nicely coated. Now I'm going to keep this, and what I do with sweet potatoes, where I have extra, is I keep them in one of my Tupperware canisters in the fridge, and they will last for ages. You love both, Wendy? Yep, I love both too. I never really tried sweet potato until I moved to Canada. That might shock you. But it wasn't something that I like the idea of, because I actually don't like sweet flavored savory things. But I have grown to love sweet potatoes. Okay, let me get the list. Now it says to put in 4 tables, and what I'm going to do is make up a mix in a little snack cup, I think. Okay, so I need 4 tablespoons of, can't do it that way around, 4 tablespoons of oil. So I'm guessing everybody is having a hot weather. Are you in Montreal this afternoon? I'm not sure what the humidex is, but it says 29 and sunny on my watch here, which means it is pretty humid outside. So I'm going to say with the humidex, it's probably pretty close to 40 degrees. Okay, I also need to put into here some, okay, I'm just going to get some spoons. Okay, so it says to put in, it says 1/8 of a spoon, but that just doesn't seem like it's worth having to me. But I'm going to put 2/8 of a spoon in. So 1/8 of a spoon of garlic salt. So I'm actually going to put 1/4 spoon in. 1/4 spoon of garlic salt. And then it says oh no, another 1/8 of a spoon of paprika, but I'm going to put in 1/4 again. I'm just going to be so bold. You are sunny in 24. Oh, that sounds nice. Sunny in 24. Because going out in this weather, it's quite bothersome. I'm going to put a dash of salt, and I need to get some black pepper. Put some black pepper in here. So what else? It says garlic powder, black pepper, paprika. It says a pinch of cayenne pepper, so I'll have a little look and see if I have some of that. No, I don't have cayenne pepper, so we'll just have to have black pepper. And it also asked me for 1/8 teaspoon of celery seed, but I don't have that either. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to shake it all up. So I have all of the powder things in here. And this is how I make my salad dressings every day. I use my little snack cups, and that way I don't make too much dressing. And now I'm just going to pour this all over here. I'm going to get my spatula actually. Make sure that I don't leave behind any spices and things. And we'll get everything out of the lid as well. There we go. So now I've got my oil in here. I'm going to put the lid on of my season serve, and we're going to shake it all up to make sure everything in here gets coated. So we do all sorts of different directions and get everything coated. Okay, so when you're on a sunny day like today, what is the most common thing that you would eat? I know a lot of people go straight for barbecues, but we're not a big barbecuing family. I think maybe because there's just 2 of us, and Alan's never really got into barbecuing. I know a lot of men really enjoy barbecuing. Alan is not one of them, so we haven't ever really got into that. But what do you usually like to do on a hot day? So I have 2 trays with, of course, my silicone mold to cover, so I don't have to use any parchment paper or aluminum foil. So I'm following my philosophy of saving time, money, eating more healthily, and being a solution to pollution. Yes, salad. That tends to be what I go for as well, Karen. Yesterday, I ended up making some carrot, onion, sweet potato soup, because it was such a miserable day here yesterday. And we're going to eat the rest of that tonight with these potatoes. And I've also cooked up some bacon for us to eat with it. I'm going to get some tongs. Can't find my tongs, so I'm going to use these instead. So I'm just going to put each of these on the tray flat, and the recipe says to turn them regularly. But what I did last time, and this seemed to work quite well, was I put my timer on my oven for 15 minutes the first time. Then I turned them over. I set it for another, how long does it tell me to cook them for? About 40 to 45 minutes. So I turned them every 15 minutes, but I put my timer on to remind me, because otherwise I would have just got involved in something. But because the beeper went, I'm like, oh, I've got to get down and turn over the potatoes. So I'm hoping this time that they will look more golden brown and like tasty potatoes. We can only try these things and see how they work out. I've got a couple of thin potatoes here, so I'm expecting the same thing is going to happen to them as last time. But the thicker ones, I'm going to see, because I like to have recipes and things that I know are going to work. And because then when you have people over, you can get out one of those tried and tested recipes. Okay, so there's one tray done. And I have my other tray here. So spread these out. And it says when you've put out all the potatoes, to put the remaining sort of juices, to dribble them on. So that's what I'll do. They all seem to be pretty well coated though. You like potato salad? I love potato salad too. And that one I made last week, guys, the herb potato salad, it was so delicious. And it didn't feel as naughty as the usual potato salad with the mayonnaise and everything. So that was really nice. Okay, so we're nearly at the end here. Excellent. So I'm just going to dribble a little bit on some of these. Wasn't much left in there. But so these now are ready to go in the oven. The oven is set for 400 degrees, and I'm going to put the timer on for 15 minutes. Then I'll come down and turn them over, and hopefully this time I'll end up with some nice looking baked potatoes. So that is it from me today. As you can tell, I do very, very simple cooking, and I'm not scared to try something over again when it doesn't work out exactly like I expect. And should you want to watch me, I'm here every day at 5 o'clock. Sometimes I don't cook, but most days I do. Oh, and tonight I have 6 really big boxes of Tupperware to unpack. All 4 big boxes arrived today and 2 yesterday. So if you want to be part of an unboxing and see some of the new products that are on sale at the moment, just join my VIP group above. You can always join it and leave it if you don't like it. But we have some fun there. So I'm looking forward to see that. Cindy, you love sweet potatoes? Yes. And I think this time these potatoes are going to work out well. So look out for some photos. If there's no photos, it usually means either I forgot or they just didn't look good enough for photos. So that's it from me. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. I'm busy all evening until 9:30 when I'm doing my unboxing. So I think I'm going to put my feet up for the next half hour before I get started on my evening activities. So have a great evening, all of you, and I'll see you tomorrow for Live at 5. Oh, hang on, I didn't do my draw. Let's do a draw this evening. And Wendy, we will stick to our Vent and Serve small round because I have a few of those of different colors. So let's see who is the winner today. And it's you, Wendy. So Wendy, you get another small round Vent and Serve. And I thank you very much for being here this afternoon. So see you later, guys. Take care. Bye for now.